Tour Junkies.
What is this place? Where are we? This is the Tour Junkies podcast. In case anybody doesn't know me, my name is Pat Perry, and I've got David Barnett with me. Greetings, golf addicts, and welcome to the podcast for the Black Desert Mountain Operational Championship. You know, this is the Black Desert Operational Championship. We got Operation Black Desert. We're going to go in here. We're going to pick some winning bets, winning DFS lineups. And I'm doing the intro because DB is in a closet, I believe, in a very quiet place, and he doesn't need to, overdo it with the loudness. So DB, welcome. I'll give the floor to you. I mean, you've had the toughest, week and a half you've probably had in a long time when it comes to actually having to live a life in some sort of normalcy. But happy to have everyone here joining us for this live show, and we're going to bring the heat. And the research it's a little weak, but we're gonna do our best.
Thank you, Patrick. Yes, I just got power back to my house after 11 days from Hurricane Helene. Shout out to all the support, first of all, from Tour Junkies fans, listeners, followers, Discord members, especially yourself, Pat, who took me and my family in as refugees for a few days. We needed a break. We needed some air conditioner. We needed some nice food and comfy beds, and you facilitated that. We greatly appreciate that. Maybe we can get into more of lessons learned from Hurricane Helene here in the Barnett household at another date, because I know we got to get to some action. But just want to say I appreciate it for everyone and hope everybody is safe and sound. And T's and P's for our friends in Florida as Hurricane Milton is about to start bearing down on that place. Man, I hope everybody's safe there. And this really sucks, but don't take it lightly. Pat texted me that in the middle of the night on Thursday. It was about 3 a.m. and we were starting to get really hammered and it was getting scary. Pat said, dude, don't take it lightly, protect your family. So that's what we did. And thankfully we're all okay, but it has been a rough few days. Just got power yesterday, but do not have internet. So I am in my father-in-law, who is a physician, graciously allowed me to operate in a closet that they do not use anymore. So I'm in a very tiny space. I have rigged up some sort of medical light that is giving me any semblance of light in this closet. Otherwise, it would be bad. I am tempted to put on he has an old lab coat, doctor coat hanging on the back of the door that I've never put one of those on before.
You should. We're going to doctor up some.
Okay.
You
convince me.
Yeah, I think you need to put that on because I'm feeling good about the picks this week, even though the research is, it's a little light. But yeah, there you go. Cook it up, DB. Doctor.
I hope nobody walks in here and sees me with this on. That would be awkward. But yeah, so I'm trying not to yell. I'm trying not to get too excited. Just on the other side of the door, I believe, are some nice young ladies working and some patients in there that need to be seen. But here we are. It's the Black Desert Championship presented to you by our friends at Swannies. And I do want to thank Swannies because, you know what, in the middle of the no power situation, it was like day 5. We had no power at the Barnett household. And all of a sudden the UPS truck comes driving in. And you know what they delivered, Pat? They delivered a box of Swannies. And it was from the Stadium collection. The new Stadium Village collection is out. It's kind of a throwback retro collection. I've, for one, bought this shirt so I can look like Macklemore on the weekends. It is a beautiful, I also got this Owen quarter zip. That's lovely. And the Bryant hoodie. That was delivered. I've got I do have my Sunday Scaries t-shirt on right now, as you can see under my doctor lab coat. It's a lovely place. Check it out. TJ25 gets you 25% off the entire order. And Swannies is kicking butt, and the stuff for the fall is going to be fantastic. So if you haven't already, check it out. And thank you to Swannies and UPS for delivering that package and giving me a little bit of, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice to open up that box. I think you got some fresh threads as well.
I did. I was, I think probably maybe the same day you did. I got a lot of fresh stuff. I got some stuff for my kids, for my boys, because they got some awesome junior
Yep.
items. And you and I got the same, I did get the t-shirt you have. I got different. I think I got in black, but you and I got the same polo, that one with the little T's on it, which is a pretty sweet polo.
Okay, I told you that. I misspoke. That one was for Collins. So I
Okay.
forgot. I forgot
I
when
got
I
a
opened it up.
child shirt for me. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I got him the adult small.
Okay.
All right, so here we are, Black Desert Resort Golf Club in Utah, and yeah, Pat, you mentioned it. It's treachery out there. It's treacherous. You're in the mountains of Utah. You got dang lava rocks and stuff, um, and you got Mormons potentially out there doing weird stuff, potentially trying to, you know, maybe you could have a Mormon on a tee box trying to witness to. You know, to Keith Mitchell
Mhm.
or something like that. So you do have to beware of that. Should we talk about the golf course a little bit because we have had our friends at Bet the Number do have boots on the ground and have sent us some information, and there's some basic information we can talk about. Should we hit that before we get into some picks?
Yeah, let's get a little course info.
It's the final design Tom Weiskopf ever did. Par 71, around 7,300 yards. It is at 3,000 feet of elevation. It's going to play more like 7,100. So not a long golf course. It's a resort course. Big, wide open fairways that even I could hit. Large greens, bent grass through and through. A little bit of Kentucky bluegrass in the rough, but the rough is almost minimal. Um, and only water in play on a couple holes. So really not a dangerous golf course whatsoever, unless you really, really, really blow it off the map and you find yourself in the lava rocks. It's going to be kind of a full send situation from what we're hearing. It's a couple hours outside of Vegas, so maybe a little bit of Utah Vegas connections you'll hear about throughout the week. So, like I said, I think a lot of fairways are going to get hit, even if they don't. The rough's not bad, and then it's from what we hear from our friends at Bet the Number, a lot of iron shots under 175 yards. So, I mean, dude, anybody could win this thing. Anybody's going to contend. It's going to be about throwing darts. You got two drivable par fours. You got a double green. You got three par fives that are all going to be gettable by pretty much everybody. And you got the black lava, like I said. Big greens, no rough. Yeah. Also, Pat, the first time in PGA Tour history, the mowing will be done by robotic mowers.
Mm.
So lava rock Mormons, robotic mowers.
There's a lot of scary stuff out there.
Our parrots' heads are falling off. Yeah, it's
I
weird.
mean, what if a robot motor or a lawnmower just decides that they need to do it during the middle of play? And
Right, that's the thing
you
with
got
AI.
you
What
got
if it
you
just
got Chan Kim running down, getting chased by a lawnmower, and he was on your DFS team, and then he has to withdraw
Yeah.
because of fear. I don't know. These things could happen with robots because we don't know. I'm not a big robot person. I don't trust them, and especially one that's got cutters on the bottom of it.
Mhm.
That worries me a little bit. Anyway,
I do think there is a risk of, you should probably play lightly in DFS this week. I don't want, you don't want your lineups tanked because of, a rogue vigilante robot mower AI person. You could have, you could have a guy going down the stretch to win the tournament and, you know, big, somebody hacks a robot and takes him out. It could be a thing. So just be careful. It is a brand new golf course. That is true. So the greens might be a little firm and bouncy, but they're pretty big. So I don't think it's going to matter much. Other than that, I mean, this is a full send situation. Our friends at Bet the Number do have a model that they've already posted and published. It is available for public viewing. You can check it out on betthenumbergolf.com. We've got our oh crap, what am I doing? Jeez, mother father. Sorry, click the wrong button over here. You can use code TJ to save $5 off monthly, $50 off an annual membership. A lot of improvements coming to Bet the Number in the next few months. We are very excited about those improvements. So be on the lookout for those. We're going to be working with our friends at Bet the Number on what to do, what to work on, and going to be some nice new releases. But the model is up, and They're, they're working to continually improve the model, and I feel good about it. We're going to work off that model today. I have not done my own. I might tinker and do my own, but I'm kind of trusting the boots on the ground here, and I'm probably not going to mess with it a whole lot as I usually do. Dr. DB tends to tinker with the model.
Yeah, you are a tinkerer, but I think this, if there's any a week where you really want to trust a model that's being given to you by an
Yeah.
expert, like you said, boots on the ground, this is the week to just fully put your trust all into the model. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't know. I mean, our model person at BTN typically, he is very excited about this model. He feels really good about it. So I feel good about that too. So.
Okay. Link in the description for Bet the Number if you want to sign up. Check it out. Let's get to it. I would love to talk about some of the things that have been happening in the last few weeks because we haven't done a show in a while. We didn't do a President's Cup show. We didn't do a Pro Core show. Most of that's on me. Some of that's on Helene. Me and Pat were preparing for our member guest last week at Champions. It got completely ruined by Helene. So some of that's on us and just life. But we're gonna be doing previews for the rest of the year here. We're not gonna skip out on these. So sorry about that. First of all, we should probably apologize for that up at the top. But I would love to talk about some of the things that have gone on in the world of golf since we last did a show. But if we do that, we're gonna have to save that to the end because Pat's got a big event today, and he's got to prep. He's got to prep for that. He's going to be hosting something for. Well, you talk about it. You tell him what you're doing.
No, we've got my real job. We've got a huge event here in Savannah. We've got our CEO in town, and we've got our brand ambassador, Mr. Russell Henley. So we're going to have a panel discussion, and I'm leading the panel. For some reason, they felt like somebody who likes to talk a lot of golf should lead a panel. And what's funny is I'm really damn nervous, DB. Like, we do these shows every week. We've interviewed tons of golfers. But I'm scared about it. I'm a little nervous. So I feel like once I get into the flow, I'll be okay. But there's a little nervousness set in.
It's Russell Henley, buddy. I mean, it's Russell Henley. It's not Scotty Scheffler. It's not Siwoo. It's Russell. You're gonna.
Speaking of that, do you think he's gonna have a Siwoo story? Because I'm gonna kind of pull him off to the side before, and I might have to go off track because these bank people really love to have a nice script. They want everything to be scripted out, but I'm not gonna, I'm not following the whole script. So if there's a Siwoo Kim story that he's got, I got to get it out of him for the crowd. I mean, it's my duty, right? I have to do that, right?
Yeah. We've committed that. We've committed that. There's no chance he doesn't have a Siwoo story. Russell and Siwoo have been on tour together for quite some time.
Yeah.
There's no chance he doesn't. Now, is it one he's willing to share or able to share?
That's another question.
In front of people is one thing. We get that a lot with Siwoo stories, but at minimum, I think he could share it with you, and you could bring it back to maybe the Discord, and that would be good if you bring that back to the Tour Junkies Discord. I think that would be great. So let's get into this. Let's get into the top of the betting board because the guy who is number one in the BTN model is also the shortest number on DraftKings Sportsbook right now, and it is the guy who three-putted his way into losing that golf tournament yesterday. Was that yesterday? No, on Sunday. And it is Mr. Keith Mitchell, a fellow Georgia Bulldog at 16-1. You got Seamus Power, Kitayama, Hostler, Chan Kim, Ben Griffin, Utah boy Patrick Fishburne, Eric Van Rooyen, Stefan Jaeger, Chris Kirk, all at 30-1 or shorter on DraftKings Sportsbook. Are there any of those names that tickle your fancy, Patrick?
Well, I still feel just like Keith Mitchell is worth going back to. Now, I do worry about his psyche in a follow-up event after he did what he just did. What was the event? Was it the Valspar earlier this year where he kind of choked that away with a decent lead, right? But that was right off the bat. It wasn't on like the last hole. But he seems to be playing well. I feel like he just plays well out here in the West Coast. And I'm willing to look at Keith Mitchell, whether it's in DFS or whether it's as a bet. The other one up here, though, how far did you get to again?
All the way to 30-1. Yeah.
All the way to 31. Yeah, I think I'm back in on Bo Hostler, and I'm back in on Chan Kim, who I've been talking about Kim a decent amount the last few weeks, and Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin and Chan Kim 3 and 8 in the model. Across the board, I feel like Chan Kim, other than the putter, is just solid with everything you're looking at in this BTN model. I mean, the worst he is in the field is 26 in driving distance. That's the worst. Next to the putter where he's 75th. So he gets that putter rolling. I think you're going to see Chan Kim up there. I'll really like him at 30-1.
So I am not going to touch Keith Mitchell. But I agree with you on Chan Kim. I agree with you on Ben Griffin. I'm always in on Ben Griffin in a some sort of a birdie shootout. He ranks well there. Chan Kim does really well in the BTN model. He's had some solid finishes here lately. I could see it. I could see it for both of those guys at 30. Whether or not I actually land on those guys, I don't know. Now, there's only one guy over 100-1 that I like, so I probably will have a lot of these guys in the 30 to 80 range. But Chan and Ben Griffin for sure. I think if I were going to go shorter, Seamus Power is actually the one for me that interests me the most. A multiple PGA Tour winner. Pretty sure he's won more than once, right? Yeah, I think he's won more. Yeah, he's won more than once. T11 at the Sanderson, 10th in the BTN model. Does great on the par fives. Approach plays a little lacking at times. He's either hot or cold, but we know he can putt. We know he hits it great off the tee, and he's a proven PGA Tour winner. I mean, I think watching, you and I watched the last few holes on Sunday in the playoff, and I mean, obviously, Kevin, you won, who's never won on tour, but watching a guy like Keith Mitchell and Bo Hostler, I mean, Keith's won on tour, Bo Hostler has not, but for Keith Mitchell, it's been a long time. Watching those guys close out was very painful. I mean, they were spraying it all over the yard. Hostler's, it was just painful. So I think I like, if I'm going to do a short number at a birdie fest at a golf course that nobody knows, where there's so much variance, I think I want the guy who's won a couple times on tour. Mm-hmm. And so Power is the one that I like the most up there. But Griffin and Chan Kim, I agree with you there. So those are the three for me that I like the most. I mean, I understand some of the Kitayama traction on Twitter, being a Vegas guy and being a bomber. But I mean, to me, the iron play has not been solid enough. I understand the Patrick Fishburne love a little bit. I mean, Fishburne's gotten some run in the Tour Junkies Discord as the Brooklyn Play of the Week. Had a great performance there a few months back. T3 at the Barracuda, 6 at the 3M, 3 at the Procore a couple weeks ago. He just has these hot or cold events, but big weeks sometimes. Being a Utah boy, being a bomber, gonna take advantage of the par fives. That's enticing at 30-1 as well. So you've also got Eric Van Rooyen and Stefan Jaeger, a couple PGA Tour winners, Chris Kirk, multiple PGA Tour winner down there. So you're kind of having to make decisions in the short range of, do I take the first timer at the same number as a guy who's closed it out before? I don't know. Maybe it's one of those weeks. So we'll see. But some interesting names here. We'll see how the lines move. I'm not eager to jump on anybody here like right now. I don't think there's a whole lot of guys here that are going to catch a ton of steam. Do you?
No, I think you're right. I don't see a lot of these numbers that I'm looking at right now, especially if I'm like cross-referencing DK with some other books. It's just not a whole lot of differentiation, and I don't see you're going to see any numbers that you could just miss out on. We did not touch on the weather. I guess that is something that we'll look at.
I haven't even looked at it.
Especially, we'll talk about it in the Nut Hut chat. That's where we'll get into the weather. But and I think that could always be a factor. Maybe somebody in the chat here will have seen it and can give us a quick outlook on it. But like I said, I just don't see a whole lot of differentiation coming out and these numbers like getting shorter. I think they're going to stay pretty steady this week.
As we progress to the next range, there's two guys up at the top I really like, and it's Novak and Ryan Fox.
Yeah. Man, literally the two guys I was going to mention, those two guys.
Well, then there's complete agreement there. Now those two, I don't know about Novak. I mean, I don't know how many people are really going to rush to go bet Andrew Novak, but I could see them shortening a little bit. I mean, Novak's just been knocking on the door, and you talk about a guy who hits his irons extremely well in that range, shorter than 175 yards, strokes gain approach 1 to 175 from the fairway. He's third in the field in the BTN model. makes the birdies. Doesn't hit it super far, but like we said, you don't have to here. Still putts okay when he's hot. Not a great putter, but it's bent grass. It's not difficult. Ryan Fox, terrible putter, bomber, par 5 scorer, kind of the same profile there as Novak, just a little longer. T11 last week for Fox, T23 for Novak last week. I like both those at 35-1 a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Total
Ryan
agreement.
Fox Ryan Fox was one I bet last week. I think he was around 40 or 45-1, got that 11th place finish. He got a chance, he had a chance to move up, but then just kind of faltered a little bit on Sunday. But I really like Ryan Fox. I think he's very much due for a big win out here. Another one going a little bit longer in that 40 to 45-1 range, though, that I'm liking. That was another late ad for me was Michael Thor Bjornsson. I like him a good bit this week. I think he's another one of those young kids that could easily come out this fall and get a win under his belt and just set up a big year for 2025. He's at 45-1 on DK. What's interesting, I talked about not a lot of differentiation. He's 33-1 on BetMGM, but 45 on DK. That's a pretty big difference in a number there. So he might be one, if we're talking about, hey, you're listening to the show right now, you like some Thor Bjornsson, you're on DK or FanDuel and can get him at 45-1. I'd go ahead and probably jump on that number because that one certainly will not be getting any longer.
I think I'm going to wait on the kid. I get it. He seems super talented. Maybe it's a Nick Dunlap situation where he wins early, but I was looking at him. I'm interested in him for sure, but I think I'd rather see him continue to rack up some more top 5, maybe some top 5s, maybe a couple of close calls on Sunday, see him close it out. That's just me. It's Fox and Novak for me in this range, and then it jumps. I'm jumping down to this to Jacob Bridgman at 50-1 is the next one I like. The guy's been playing really solid right now, 5th in the BTN model. The approach play is okay in that range. He's not bad. Not a super long hitter, but long enough. Really good scorer. Still, even though he's not long, 15th in par 5 scoring average here. And he's filling it up right now. So in a birdie fest that I think we're going to get to 20 under or better in terms of scoring conditions, I like how this Jacob Bridgman fella has been hitting it 50-1.
Yeah, he's been good. He's kind of a hot new guy out there, and he's got a great game. So I agree there. I think too, just next to him, that I would look at are, well, first off, Justin Lauer. We've heard a lot of good things about Justin Lauer heading into this fall. He feels very confident about his game. Shows up really well in the model. He's 13 in the BTN model. Had a 7th place finish a couple weeks ago. He was T28 last week. I think Lauer is somebody that we could certainly see break out in a new event like this. The other one that I want to talk about, and this is a guy that just I've seen him show up on in my models all year, and I've fallen for it because he's got several victories on tour. He was a stud coming off of an injury, and now he comes off a 7th place finish in Daniel Berger last week. And I don't know, are we ready to start to say that Berger could be some maybe value on DK or a decent bet at this point? Or are we still just going to kind of look at some top 10s and top 20s on Berger?
I mean, I gave Berger a nice look. Definitely a DFS play at 7,700. I don't know what his ownership will look like. People might be eager to play Daniel Berger. Does rank okay in the model. What pulls him down is the approach play in those key buckets. He finally pops at the Sanderson, but I would be interested in seeing him go a couple weeks, maybe go 2 weeks in a row with a good finish. Right now, he's not really done that as of late, so I'm out. But I get it. I get the Daniel Berger love. I mean, it's a name. It's a tour winner in this range, in this field, on a new course. It makes sense.
Yeah, he's worth a look to me.
There's a couple names here at 80-1 that I really like. Before I do that, Pat, I've got this sweet new hat on that says Cash It. And do you know that there is someone, listen to this. How would you like to be up almost 62 units in 24 hours? Raise your hand. If you're at home, if you're driving, just keep one hand on the wheel, raise the other hand. If you're watching, just raise one hand if you would like to be up almost 62 units in 24 hours. Okay. If you're in the chat, drop us a little hand, drop us a wave emoji. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment a wave if you'd like to be up 62 units, because our friend Nasty on Soet had a historic day. I think it was on NFL.
That's pretty good.
61.7 units in the last 24 hours. Lord Maximus as well, dominating, up 39 units. That's just a glimpse of the Soet leaderboard from this past week. If you are not on Soet, you have missed out massively. So make that happen. Cash it. Shout out to our friends at Soet. There it is. Shout out to our friends at Soet. Click the link below. Join using code TJ. You'll get your first month at $1 every month. After that's only $9.95. I mean, imagine paying $9.95 and being up 62 units on Sunday thanks to Nasty. And Nasty's been consistent. The dude is nasty. He continues to dominate. Great handicapper. They've got over 60, 70 plus handicappers from every sport imaginable dropping in plays exclusively on Soet. So you need to get in there. Our boy Kenny McCandress just joined Soet as well. He's dropping an exclusive play or two every week into Soet. We're dropping exclusive golf plays in there. Get involved, be a part, cash it. You can cancel at any time. If you're like, I'm not up 62 units, I'm a ding dong because I'm following nobody, or I'm not paying attention, or if you're just an idiot, you can cancel if you want to. But Soet is where it's at. Link in the description. Give it a shot. NFL season, college football season is the peak for Soet. And there are a bunch of people on there making a bunch of cash. But if you're on Soet and you're putting out picks that suck, guess what? They demand transparency. So you can also see who's been bad. You can see their record. You can see who's not hot. It happens. If you gamble at any capacity, that's going to happen. So check that out on Soet. Two guys at 80-1 for me that I'm interested in. I'm going to play Cam Champ. I mean, I'm just a Cam Champ truther on a golf course. I don't care about his form on a golf course with wide open fairways, 2 drivable par 4s, 3 easily get up. I mean, he's going to have 7 irons into these par 5s. He's also got some Utah ties. There was a few years ago, Tony Finau had his foundation event in Utah, and I was there, and Cam Champ was with him. He's a buddy. He's got some ties to Utah. I watched Cam Champ hit drives on the driving range in a demonstration before the tournament started with a TrackMan, hitting stinger drives at 380 at elevation in Utah. But he spent some time in Utah. I know he's a Cali boy, but don't sleep on Cam Champ on a golf course like this. All he has to have is like just be neutral with the putter, and he's in contention. So 80-1 Cam Champ, multiple tour winner. I'm going to take it. And opposite profile, but a guy who's come very close to winning on the PGA Tour multiple times and has never got it done. Fellow Champions Retreat buddy Henrik Norlander at 80-1. You also know I'm going to hit that because of the iron play. I mean, if everybody's playing from the fairways, if everybody's hitting into these big greens, I trust Henrik to just continue to pepper greens, which he does. If it's green light season into these greens, I trust Henrik to knock that out. He does score on par 5s. He ranks highly in par 5 average, despite being a shorter hitter, because he hits his long irons well, because he gets on the green, and his birdie average is up. So Norlander at 80 and Champ at 80 are my two, shorter than 100-1. Then I got one more outright.
Yeah, I mean, Norlander was going to be one of them that I talked about. I think he's got a good chance, and if you're going to be looking at people that can definitely win a golf tournament here, he's certainly one of them. So I do like Norlander. I feel like taking a look at Vince Whaley. He's at 80-1. You just never know. He's so hit or miss. He's so hit or miss, but shows up 32nd in the model. He is number 1 in this field in strokes gained putting, and he's 17th in birdie average. Looks good around the green. Certainly hits it plenty far off the tee. So Vince Whaley's one that I think we can look at in here. Outside of that, I don't really have a whole lot more in a way of long shots. I'll probably be looking more at some top 20 plays with some of these guys, other than just outright wins up here.
Could I interest you? Let me see if I can tease this one, Pat. Could I interest you in a guy who has, let's see, a couple top tens in a very brief PGA Tour career? Um, has been in contention down the stretch on a Sunday. Um, averages 182-mile-an-hour ball speed with a better than average tour accuracy. Um, pretty solid putter for the most part. Went to BYU. Talking about the Mormons here. He's
Yeah,
gonna have the Mormon
I know where
contingent.
BYU is. I know where BYU is.
Gonna have the Mormon contingent behind him. At 200 to 1.
200 to 1. And he's a relatively new person on tour. Now, are we talking about Peter Kest?
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, look, we've gotten in some arguments in the chat about Peter Kest. If you remember, I've been kind of an anti-Peter Kest person.
That's why I didn't lead with his name.
I mean, look, you could potentially sway me in that direction. The BYU connection.
200 to 1.
200 to 1.
If Joseph Smith if Joseph Smith smiles down upon him for 1 week of the year and he finally gets it done, you know what I mean? If he maybe has a good soaking session, the Wednesday night right before, it could be magical. It could be the stuff dreams are made of. I would rather be him than Zach Blair.
I agree. I'm with you.
And Big Papa Mormon Tony's not here. He's got some legal issues going on, so he's got other stuff to worry about. Who else is Joseph Smith going to shine down on? I mean, I guess Patrick Fishburne.
I don't know, but you could convince me, or maybe you have already about Peter Kest.
Yeah.
I want to pull for Peter Kest. He seems like a decent human being and a great player.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go, Spaz. Spaz also, so we're starting to wrap this up. If you have any names in the chat, you need to throw them in there quickly because we're going to button the show up here now because we got stuff Pat's got to get to his Russell Henley meeting here. Spaz brings up our boy Austin Smoth Daddy Smotherman led the field in greens and regulation last week, had a really good iron play week. But Austin just continues to be broken with the putter. I looked at him as an outright, but I just can't do it. I do think a placement bet is fine for him if he does find it on the greens. I can't imagine him finding it on the greens enough to win. I don't really feel good about the top 10 either. I wouldn't be shocked if at some point in the tournament we see him in the top 10 because he has a decent round putting, but I don't see him putting 4 together. But a top 20, top 40, I think it could happen. Speaking of top 20s, placement bets, did you have a comment on Smotherman?
No, we'll move that into what you're about to go into, and I'm glad that Spaz mentioned Smoth Daddy because I was looking at him, but for me, and DB and I were actually watching that when we were watching golf on Sunday. That screen, it popped up where he was, leading the field in greens and regulation. I think it's at the time said third in strokes gained approach, and then I immediately went down the leaderboard to see where he finished. Obviously, it was a putting that really hurt him. But I do like him as my long shot. Well, yeah, as my long shot top 20 bet at plus 400 on BetMGM. So he'll be my long shot top 20 bet.
Mine is going to be Peter Quest at 5 to 1 on DK. He could be longer somewhere else. The only odds I have access to right now are. By the way, did you notice I have I had to find a pin, so I've got a drug company pin I'm using, Benacar. So be careful.
There's no shortage of pins in a doctor's office.
That's true.
Yeah.
My lock top 20s, I'm going Chan Kim at plus 140, and I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Novak. I think I'm going to go Novak at plus 150. So Chan Kim plus 140, Novak plus 150.
Okay. I'll go with. I still just have a really good feeling about Ben Griffin. So I'll go with Ben Griffin at plus 140. And I'll go with Ryan Fox at plus 150. Those would be my two locks.
I like all of these. Pat, by the way, how's we got to figure out the concert thing for you. Remember that. We can't let you forget that.
Yeah.
The concert thing. Spaz brings up some of the old UNLV alumni out there in Las Vegas: Hoffman, Hall, Kitayama, Taylor Montgomery, Higo, Ryan Moore. Looked at all of them. Like I said, I think Kitayama is a little bit interesting. Hall, maybe. Taylor Montgomery, I can't. I'm done. I'm not. No, I can't. I won't. Higo, no. Ryan Moore, no. So, anything else? We got a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll catch up on another show here. But I know we got to get out of here. But thanks everybody for again the support. Thanks everybody for the T's and P's with the hurricane stuff. Continue to think about our friends in Florida, and hopefully you all can enjoy the Black Desert Championship here in Utah. And be careful. If you're going there, if you're going to be there, let us know. We'd love to know if you're seeing any Mormon witnessing going on. If you're seeing any rogue AI robots cutting things they're not supposed to.
I
Let
would
us know.
just like a video or something of a robot lawnmower. I just want to see what they look like in action.
Yeah.
And what does a greenskeeper do if they mess up? You can't get pissed at a robot lawnmower and be like, "Hey, you cut into the rough too much. We were supposed to have a second cut, and you just made it, an 80-yard fairway."
I think you got to blame it on China. You blame it on a China, some sort of hack, some sort of, and you're just a greenskeeper. So like, obviously you don't really know computers, no offense, but you don't. So you just say like, I don't know, man, but some sort of Chinese computer virus worked its way into our Toro and, freaking sawed off all the greens or something, or put 7 hole locations into a tee box instead of a green. I don't know. So maybe that's what you got to do. But thanks everybody. May your screens be green. Bend over your bookies. We'll see you in the Discord this week. Let's have a great time. We'll see you next week. See you.